Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatta Dishatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nittang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. Text 23. Tatra Gandharvam Akaranya Dibbamarga Manoharam Bishimyu Bishishmu Rajaputraste Mridanga Panavadi Anu. Tatra Gandharvamakarnya Dibbyamarga Manoharam Bishishmu Rajaputraste Mridanga Panavadyanu. Tatra Gandharvamakarnya Dibbyamargam Manoharam Bishishmu Rajaputraste Mridanga Panavadyanu. Tatra Gandharvamakarnya Dibbyamarga Manoharam Bishishmu Rajaputraste Mridanga Panavadyanu. Go ahead, okay. Tatra, there, Gandharvam, musical sounds, Akarnya, hearing, Divya, heavenly, Marga, symmetrical, Manoharam, beautiful, Bishishmu, they became amazed, Rajaputra, all the son of King Barhishat, they, all of them, Mridanga, drums, Panava, kettle drums, Adi, all together, Anu, always. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibration from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ears. Please repeat after me. The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibration from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds, pleasing to the ears. Purport by Srila Prabhupada: in addition to the various flowers and living entities about the lake, there were also many musical vibrations. The void of the impersonalist, which has no variegatedness, is not at all pleasing compared with such a scene. Actually, one has to attain the perfection of Satchidananda, eternity knowledge and eternity bliss and knowledge. Because the impersonalists deny these varieties of creation, they cannot actually enjoy transcendental bliss. The place where the Prachetas arrived was the abode of Lord Shiva. Impersonalists are generally worshippers of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is never without variety of his abode. Thus, wherever one goes, whether to the planet of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, or Lord Brahma, there is variety to be enjoyed by persons full in knowledge and bliss. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishthang Sthapitang Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tatra Gandharva Makarnya Dibba Marga Manoharam Bishishmu Rajaputraste Mridanga Panavadhyanu. The sons of king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with the other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear. So, this chapter is actually sons to get married. And upon receiving that instruction, they considered that before getting married, they have to become qualified. So they moved westwards in order to perform austerities. And when they were traveling, they came across Lord Shiva. And here's a description that how they saw Lord Shiva in his abode. So beautiful place. There are so many flowers, beautiful flowers, birds singing, and all manifestation of perfect beauty was there. And then they heard some musical sound. So this way we can see that when they met Lord Shiva, actually Lord Shiva came there to bestow his mercy upon them. So this is how the devotees of the Lord extend their mercy to deserving candidates. So when one becomes qualified, the Lord's devotees approach them and give them the direction of how to become a devotee. It is by the mercy of the Lord's devotees that one can become a devotee. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhurya Kadambini is making this point very clearly, that Krishna himself doesn't give devotion. The reason he is saying that if Krishna gave devotion to somebody and didn't give it to others, then Krishna would be considered to be partial. But Krishna is totally impartial. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. He is perfectly equipoised towards everybody. And then the question arises, then how does one get devotion? And he is pointing out that it's by the mercy of a devotee that one becomes a devotee. If we think back how we became devotees, we will see that somehow or other we came in contact with a devotee, and that's how we could actually become devotees. Sometimes such great personalities bestow their mercy, like Lord Shiva. Another very, very wonderful personality in that respect is Narad Muni. Whenever somebody becomes eligible, somebody becomes qualified, Narad Muni comes to give him devotion. Starting from Mrigari to Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, we see it's all behind their devotion. It was Narad Muni's mercy. So in the case of the Prachetas, Lord Shiva himself came. And he gave them Rudra Geet, the Gita sung by Lord Shiva. There are various Gitas, like Bhagavad Gita. Another Gita is Gopi Gita. Another Gita here is Rudra Gita. So Lord Shiva's abode is being described here. And Prabhupada is taking this opportunity to purport the Mayavadis in this. We notice that Prabhupada, whenever he got an opportunity to smash the Mayavadis, Prabhupada would immediately take advantage of that opportunity. We can see like Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra, Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatta Deshatarine. Nirvisheshvad and Shunnavad. Nirvisheshvad is Mayavad. And Buddhism is Shunnavad, voidism, nihilism. So here he is pointing out that the Mayavadis, generally they consider themselves to be Lord Shiva's followers. But here we are seeing that how Lord Shiva's abode is full of variety. The Mayavadi's consideration is that there is no variety. Ultimately, there is no variety. Nirakar, Nirvishesh, Nishaktik. No form, no variegatedness, and no potency. Nishaktik. Brahman doesn't have any potency, doesn't have any variety, doesn't have any form. Yes, Brahman doesn't act. It's true. Brahman doesn't have any form and variety and so forth. Because that's the light emanating from the body of the Lord. And that Brahman, that spiritual light, the spiritual energy is the cause of material creation. Material creation, the creation of this material variety is a transformation of that Brahma Jyoti. Sarvam Khallidam Brahma. But, so that's true, but beyond Brahma Jyoti there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's the bodily effulgence of the Lord, it's the energy, spiritual energy of the Lord, which is effulgent. The spiritual sky is full of light because of that Brahma Jyoti. So the light doesn't have any form. But the source of light has form. Brahma Jyoti, Brahman is Nirakar, without form. But Param Brahma is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, that understanding is all right. Initially one may be seeing the Brahma Jyoti, but eventually he will get to know the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like we see that many of our acharyas, many of the great personalities were actually Brahmavadis. The four Kumaras, initially they were Brahmavadis. They were attached to Brahma Jyoti. But then they became devotees, like four Kumaras, Sukdev Goswami. So that way we can see that Brahmavad is all right. But the problem is with Mayavad. Mayavad has been created by Lord Shiva. Mayavadam ashatshastram prachanna bodham uchyate mayaiva vihitan devi kalu brahmana murtina. Lord Shiva is telling Parvati, Devi, that in the age of Kali I will promote an temporary philosophy, ashatshastram, which is actually prachannam bodham uchyate, which is actually covered Buddhism. Apparently it came to defeat Buddhism, but it's actually covered Buddhism. Shankaracharya took, in order to defeat Buddhism, he actually took the doctrines from Buddhism and smashed them. The Buddhism says that the goal of life is nirvana, and nirvana is to become nothing. Shankaracharya raised a point that you are using the expression nirvana, but the nirvana is actually a Vedic expression. And nirvana doesn't mean become nothing, but nirvana means to become everything. Nirvana means to become source of everything. And so this is how Shankaracharya defeated Buddhism, and this has been exemplified as, with a thorn you pick a thorn. When you get stuck with a thorn, what do? With another thorn you pick it. So Shankaracharya used the Buddhist doctrine to defeat Buddhism. We are speaking about nirvana, but nirvana doesn't mean to become, to merge into, to become nothing, but to merge into the absolute. Brahma Sajuja, merge into Brahma. So this is how he actually defeated Buddhism. But apparently this Mayavad is actually covered Buddhism. It's interesting to note, Chaitanya Charitamrita is making that point, that Buddhism actually is covered atheism. Ved na maniya bodha hoila nastik. Because the Buddhists did not accept the Vedas, therefore they are Gnostic, they are atheists. So now Buddhism is covered atheism. Mayavad is covered Buddhism. Therefore, Mayavad is atheism. So, and not only they are atheistic, they are actually offenders to the lotus feet of the Lord. Mayavadi Krishna Aparadhi. They are offenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Aparadhi. So this is how Mayavad is, we can see what the actual feature of Mayavad. So Srila Prabhupada actually came to defeat that. Now we can see like how that development actually took place. Like it has, again, Chaitanya Charitamrita is making that point. That Vasudev gave the theory of Brahma Parinambad. That's the actual understanding. Brahman became transformed. That theory of transformation. That is the Vedic doctrine that Vasudev gave. Yes, Brahman became Jagat. Transformed into Jagat. But actually Shankaracharya came up with another doctrine. Vasudev gave Parinambad, the theory of transformation, but Vasudev gave the Parinambad, but Lord Shiva came up with another as Shankaracharya. Who is Shankaracharya? Kalu Brahmana Murtina, in the form of a Brahmana, in the age of Kali, I will propound the theory called Mayavad. So who is that person who came, Lord Shiva, as a Brahmana in the age of Kali? Lord Shankaracharya. So Shankaracharya raised this other theory called theory of illusion. One is a theory of transformation. Brahman became transformed into Jagat. But he propounded a theory that this Jagat is Mitha. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mitha. This Jagat is Mitha. And he gave the example of how this Jagat is Mitha. Just as you see a mirage. In a mirage you get the impression of water. Now consider, you're very thirsty in the middle of a desert and there is that impression of water. What will you do? You'll run after that water. Run after that mirage thinking that there is water. So this Jagat is like an illusion. That is the meaning of Maya. Maya means illusion. The actual theory is called Vivartavad. Shankaracharya came out with the theory of Vivartavad, and also it is known as Kevaladvaitavad. That is the doctrine of Shankaracharya. So, the theory of illusion. He gave another example. Just as in semi-darkness we mistake a rope to be a snake. Just as we mistake mother of pearl to be silver. So these are the examples of illusion. Similarly, this world is an illusion. It is not real. It's illusion. So that is called Mayavad. And the thing is, then the consideration is, then what about the incarnations, the Lord's form? And he came up with the concept that these forms of Brahman in mode of goodness. Brahman in the mode of goodness is avatars. And jivas are in the mode of passion. Brahman in the mode of passion. Therefore, when the jivas transcend the mode of passion and come to goodness, they become Narayan. That's the hodgepodge theory. So this is how Shankaracharya came up with this new concept called Mayavad or Vivartavad, theory of illusion. So we can see that there are two types of impersonalism. One is a positive impersonalism, the other is a negative impersonalism. The positive impersonalism is Brahmavad, and from positive impersonalism one can become a personalist. Like the four Kumaras. Just by smelling the fragrance of the tulasis and the flowers at the lotus feet of the Lord, they became so attracted to the Lord's form. Similarly, Sukadev Goswami, being educated by his father, Vasudev, from impersonalist he became a devotee. So that is the positive. Brahmavad is the positive impersonalism. But Mayavadis are the negative impersonalism. Because they think that the form of the Lord is also Maya, therefore they don't have any possibility of becoming properly situated in their relationship with the Lord. Therefore they are considered to be aparadhis. Mayavadi, Krishna, aparadhi. Because they are offenders to the lotus feet of the Lord, therefore they can never become devotees. Of course, by the mercy of devotees, it is possible. To begin with, we can say many of us, at the beginning, we are impersonalists. The whole of India is actually covered with this dangerous concept of impersonalism. Like all these sadhus, apparently, apparent sadhus, are Mayavadis. But when you talk to them, they don't have any ground to stand. We can defeat the Mayavadis very easily, provided they listen to us, want to listen to us. And we can see, like Prabhupada actually came, the whole world has become so much affected by this Mayavad concept that Prabhupada had to come and smash that Mayavad. Mayavadis and Buddhists. And Prabhupada did that in the West because India follows the West. Although they have the wealth with them, they don't want to recognize that. In simple words, Indians don't see their own wealth with their own eyes. They need to see everything via America. Foreign. Whatever is foreign is good. Whatever is deshi. So Prabhupada had to go to America to wake up India. And it's happening. Today's India is waking up. With the passing of time, Krishna consciousness movement is spreading so wonderfully in India. When Prabhupada was here, there were hardly any Indians. Prabhupada used to lament at times, everyone is coming but the Indians are not coming. Prabhupada will be so pleased to see, yes. Prabhupada himself also said that I am one Indian, spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. If all the Indians take to Krishna consciousness, what's going to happen to this world? So it's the time to wake up. Jeev jago, jeev jago. Not jeev jago, jeev jago. Bharatvasi jago, Bharatvasi jago. Wake up, wake up. Why are you unnecessarily spending your time, wasting your time? Prabhupada gave everything in such a perfect way. How many of you have been to Mayapur? How many of you have gone to the Gauri Math temple? That Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's temple. And what do you see there? In the temple, there is Radha Giridhari Gandharvika and Gaur Sundar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna and Radharani. And in the four corners, four acharyas. But at the same time, we know, Prabhupada time and time again mentioned that Shankaracharya is one of our acharyas. Apparently, Shankaracharya is establishing a doctrine which is contrary to Vaishnavism, contrary to personalism. Actually, it's apparent that Mayavad, the theory that Shankaracharya established, is atheism. Then why did Srila Prabhupada recognize Shankaracharya as one of our acharyas? Because on the field of atheism, Shankaracharya dug the foundation. When you dig a foundation, say this temple, what did you have to do first? And which the temple will come this way, which way is the foundation goes? The opposite direction. So Shankaracharya laid the foundation. And on that foundation, the four acharyas built the temple. That is, they established the Vaishnava philosophy. Apparently, Shankaracharya did something which is opposed to theism. But these four acharyas actually established the Vaishnava theism. Ramanujacharya. Do you know how Ramanujacharya defeated Shankaracharya? He was the first one actually to defeat Shankaracharya's theory. Over Shankaracharya's Kevaladvaitavad, or absolute non-dualism, he established the theory of Vishishtadvaitavad. The special non-dualism, Advaitavad, Vishishta Advaitavad. Absolute Advaitavad and Vishishta Advaitavad. He defeated his thing, of course, with his very, very elaborate doctrine. But in simple way we can understand, like he raised a few questions. Okay, fine. There is no water in the mirage. Fine, there is no water in the mirage. But somewhere water is there, therefore you're mistaking the mirage to be water. If there was no water, then there was a question of mistaking it to be water. Fine, there is no snake in the rope. But somewhere the snake is there, therefore you're mistaking the rope to be snake. Fine, this world is a mistaken concept. But the variety of this world is a mistaken concept. But somewhere the real variety is existing, therefore you're mistaking this to be that variety. And then came Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarkacharya. They built the temple, meaning Vaishnava Siddhanta. But there was an apparent contradiction, conflict between impersonalism and personalism. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in that temple to establish the deity of Radha Krishna. Temple is built, but the temple is built for what? To establish the deities of Radha Krishna. That's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did through his Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva. Achinta. First of all, to begin with, we have to understand that this is inconceivable. Prakritibha parejastu tad achintasya lakshanam. The definition, achinta, inconceivable, has been described as, what is the definition of inconceivable? Prakritibha parejastu. That is beyond this reality is achinta. Meaning that reality cannot be perceived by our senses. This world we experience with our senses. But beyond this world there is another reality which is beyond our sense perception, that exists beyond our sense perception. And that reality is achinta, inconceivable. And that reality is is Bhed and Abhed. In that reality, perfectly harmonized. Bhed is harmonized, Abhed is perfectly harmonized. How the Bhed is harmonized? Yes, between the Jiva and the Supreme Lord, there is a eternal difference. Jiva is a minute and he is absolute. Can the minute be compared to be equal to absolute? Can we say a drop of water, can it be considered to be ocean? But both the water and the ocean are water. A spark, a fire, and fire is qualitatively one. A ray of the sun and sun qualitatively one, but a ray is a ray and the sun is a sun. In simple words, that's how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu harmonized the Bhed and Abhed. There is no need to argue about that. There is no need to fight about this difference. Recognize the difference and recognize the similarity. Jivas are qualitatively one with the Lord and quantitatively different from the Lord. Therefore, Jivas and Ishwaras are always different. There is no need to think that because qualitatively we are one, therefore we are equal to Him. No. Just as a drop of water and ocean qualitatively one, but which fool will say that a drop of water is ocean? Similarly, Jiva and Ishvara, there is a Nitya Bhed and also Nitya Abhed. But that reality is beyond our sense perception. So what is beyond our sense perception? How to recognize that? The way to recognize that is through Shruti, through Shrauta Pantha, hearing from the authority. When we hear from the authorities with faith, Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam. Upadekshanti te jnanam. That personality who has the knowledge will impart the knowledge. And when we listen to that knowledge, we become situated in knowledge. That is beyond our sense perception. So how can we understand that with our own endeavor? It can be understood only by the mercy of a person who knows that reality. And we are very fortunate that we came across Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And by listening to Srila Prabhupada's teachings, yes, we can say that we are situated in absolute truth. We know what the absolute truth is. We know the difference between Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. There are personalities, there are people, so-called sadhus, those are Brahmavadis. Those who are Paramatmavadi. Some are worshipping the Brahma Jyoti, some are worshipping the yogis, they are worshipping the Jnanis worship Brahma Jyoti or desire to merge in Brahma Jyoti. The yogis, Paramatma in the heart. But devotees, Bhagavan. So fine, if you want to pursue Brahma Jyoti, fine. If you want to pursue Paramatma through yoga, fine. But one thing we can say, that we are situated in the absolute platform. Bhagavan realization. The Brahmavadis may not know Paramatma. Paramatmavadis may not know Bhagavan. But the Bhagavanvadis, the bhaktas, devotees, they know who is Paramatma and what is Brahma Jyoti. So that is why this knowledge is perfect. And that is the knowledge that has been given by Srimad Bhagavatam, given by Krishna himself through Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, two scriptures that are giving us the perfect spiritual understanding. So we have to recognize how fortunate we are that we came across Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and yes, Brahmara Durlabha Prem Shabakare Jache. The Krishna Prem that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute, by Prabhupada's mercy we are having access to that. Now that we have the access to that, let's take full advantage of that. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Does anybody have any question? Yeah.
Maharaj, I was unable to understand Vishishta Advaitavad, which like Ramanacharya presented.
Vishishta Advaitavad?
Yes.
Ramanacharya. You see, the Advai meaning non-dual, right? Now the variety that exists in the material nature is a material variety. But the spiritual reality is spiritual reality. In that way, there everything is spiritual. Right? Everything there is spiritual. Therefore, it's different from this very variegatedness. But in the spiritual domain, there is variety. Like the spiritual point is, the spiritual domain is non-dual. That is because it's spiritual. The material duality doesn't exist there. That way it is non-dual. Right? But in there is variety. Therefore, the variety that we are seeing here is a reflection of that variety. Right? Okay, let's put it this way. Land, tree, water. You are seeing the reflection. That the reflected variety that you are seeing in the water is totally different from that one. There it is there is no water, there is no reflection, right? But in there, in that domain of this land, there are trees, there are leaves, there are fruits, there are flowers, and you are seeing the reflection here. You get it? Okay, let's put it this way. Shankaracharya is pointing out that whatever you are seeing in the material nature is a reflection. It's not existing, appears to be existing. Now when you go beyond that, there is land. Right? The land is totally different from water. And land is land. One, Advai. All these varieties don't exist in that land. Right? But when you go into the land, then you see the tree. Alright? That is the Vishishta aspect, the special non-dualism. It is non-dual in relation to the material relation, but in that non-dual reality, there is variety. Okay? Okay. You had a question, yeah? Yeah.
Thank you. My question is, Maharaj, first of all, very grateful for giving the analogy of how Shankaracharya is digging in opposite direction and how Mahaprabhu is building temple on the, earlier the field is
Not
80s.
Mahaprabhu, 4 acharyas.
4 acharyas, and Mahaprabhu is building temple.
No, Mahaprabhu established Radha Krishna.
Established Radha Krishna. And how the field of atheism was there, and it was really very deeply enlightening. Thank you so much for that. My question is about, you started telling how Lord Shiva approached Prachetas. So devotees of Lord extend their mercy to deserving candidates. So in our preaching, in our areas, how do we actually identify? Because many times it happens that in youth preaching or any other kind of preaching, where to put actually our energy is always our question. Out at the end of year we put lot of energy and only some people take it up. So we realized after 1 year, 2 years. So what are different principles by which we can identify the way Lord Shiva identified Prachetas?
Well, you see, personality like Lord Shiva can function as the super soul. Right? They know the heart of individuals. And they can see who is who, where one is, how eager one is to get Krishna consciousness. That is how he recognized and he gave. Like Narad Muni. Why did Narad Muni come to Mrigari? Right? Why did Narad Muni come to Ratnakar, a bandit who became Valmiki? Right? So in this way we can see the personalities like Lord Shiva, Narad Muni. They can understand the spiritual eagerness of an individual. And then they bestow their mercy. But our business is to just keep on distributing. And as you say, how do you recognize who is qualified? Yes, the way they respond. Not that everybody responds in the same way. But when we get the response, yes, we go out of our way to give them. Isn't it? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, like Shankaracharya said that this world is a reflection. So if a reflection is there, then what is it reflection of? Because in the reflection we also see the variety.
Shankaracharya didn't say reflection. The Vedas are saying reflection. Bhagavad Gita is saying the reflection. Just as urdhva mulam atha shakham ashattham prahurabbayam. Where is the tree that has its roots upwards and branches downwards?
Reflection.
Have you seen any tree like that?
In a reflection.
In the reflection. And this material nature is a reflection of the spiritual reality. Right? In Mahat Tattva, the spiritual reality is reflected. And this is a reflection of the spiritual world. Therefore, whatever is here must be existing there. Because how can something exist in the reflection that is not in the reality, not in the substance? Okay?
I had one more question. Can I ask?
Sure.
Like if someone is following this Mayavad or Buddhism or even other religions, non-Vedic religions, so what do they achieve finally? What is their achievement? Like devotees go to Vaikuntha or Goloka, but what if they follow perfectly as per their scriptures?
In the age of Kali, all of them are going to hell. Unless and until they come to ISKCON, that's the only hope. Because, where will you go? Like, say for example, in the West, Buddhism is quite popular. But in the name of Buddhism, what they're ultimately doing, they're not following Buddhism. They're into, intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating and gambling. So when people are indulging in those activities, where they will go? That's what I was saying, their destiny is hell. The only hope is Krishna consciousness, because Krishna consciousness movement is giving them the right understanding. Right? Therefore try to get as many as possible into ISKCON. Save the world. This is the only way to save the world. It may sound that we are being quite arrogant in saying things like that, but that's the reality. What would have happened to us had we not have joined ISKCON? Did you ever consider? Anyway, I consider. I can't even imagine what would have happened to me. But Srila Prabhupada saved me. And this is how Srila Prabhupada is saving everyone. Through ISKCON. Hare Krishna. Okay, one written question, no name, Hare Krishna Maharaj. There can be impersonalism even in our dealings after spending some time in Krishna consciousness movement. How to maintain innocence and simplicity and being personal always. Okay, whose question is this? That's your question. Okay, the answer Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. And mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahaitu kitvayi. All these, as you said, even in ISKCON we find impersonalism. So behind that impersonalism you'll find the desire for material desires. Dhanam janam sundarim. But when you become engaged in devotional service, that impersonalism will automatically disappear. Then with Krishna in the center, you will develop real personal relationship. So the point is, we have to put Krishna in the center. Mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatad bhakti rahaitu kitvayi. And the other point I will say, that you may find so-called impersonalism in others. At least you don't become impersonalist. Deal with them personally. Okay? Thank you. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Such an enlivening class with very beautiful examples for each of them. It was very nice to hear from you. Maharaj, there is a kind of wave coming nowadays that many people say that surely Srila Prabhupada's times, most of the brahmacharis and grihasthas, they were all inside the four walls of the temple. They were all, therefore there was a very fiery spirit in the early days. But now 90% of the people are in congregation communities and very small percentage is inside the temple. So therefore many people say that we should focus on sustenance, and we should do yoga, and we should take care of our health and take care of families. And therefore this type of wave is coming all over the world. When when we were talking, I was asking this question also. So I came to understand that it is not in any particular place, it's all over the world that wave is coming. So I wanted to hear from you, what was Srila Prabhupada's desire for those who are in Grihastha Ashrama, those who are not inside the temple but who are living outside, what type of lifestyle Prabhupada expected from the Grihasthas?
Well, again we have to consider there are two considerations. Grihastha, Grihamedhi. Grihasthas literally mean they're situated in Griha, Grihastha, but their consciousness is at the lotus feet of Krishna. They are Grihastha, staying at home, but Krishna conscious. Whereas the Grihamedhi, the Griha is the center, and all that they're doing is for that center, for that Griha. Right? So, in ISKCON, we must train and educate the householders to become grihasthas. Okay, you are at home, but become Krishna conscious. Griheva bonete thake, hago rango bole dake. Doesn't matter whether one is staying at home or staying in the temple or staying in the forest. As long as one is attached to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. And I didn't finish, I made another thing. And the grihasthas up to age of 50. After 50 move into the temple. No more grihastha, not lifelong grihasthas. You can become lifelong brahmacharis, but no room for lifelong grihasthas. Panchashodhe banan brajet. Although your job may say 65 years age of retirement, but our condition is 50 years. Then you move into the temple And when one is 50, one is quite active. Right? Why spend all your life in Griha? At least when your children are grown up, daughters are married, and sons are situated, then move into the temple. Or move close to the temple and render service. And then when you are young, yes, you become a brahmachari. As so many of you are here. Become a brahmachari. Then if you want to get married, yes, you can get married. But first, have a few years of brahmachari life. And not that lifelong grihastha and endless grihastha life. So that should not be. Like in Krishna consciousness, we should try to. You see, during Prabhupada's time, everyone was young. So everyone moved into the temple. And besides that, there was no other shelter. When you are young, you want to pursue spiritual life, you can't do it staying at home. So we all had to leave home and come to the temple. Right? But like that was a building stage, formative stage of ISKCON. That was, at that time ISKCON went through certain phase. But now ISKCON has embarked into another phase. Not that only the youth, young ones are joining. Many householders. And many householders lament, if I came to Krishna consciousness earlier, I wouldn't have got married. I mean, I hear many devotees lament in that way. And anyway, that's also an ashram. There is no harm entering into household life. But the point is, make it a point to become a proper grihastha. That means living in Krishna, living at home, but my heart is at the lotus feet of Krishna. My body is at home, my heart is at the lotus feet of Krishna. That is a grihastha.
Thank you, Maharaj. Now you were speaking about the consciousness of a grihastha. He may be at home, but his consciousness is in the Lord's lotus feet. So that is perfectly understood, Maharaj. You differentiated between Grihamedi and Grihastha. At the same time, I saw when I had gone to LA, just outside the Dwarkadish temple in Los Angeles, there is a Grihastha Dham. There are 5 Krishna's queens' names, there are buildings there, which Prabhupada arranged for the Grihasthas to live outside the temple. Were they expected to come to temple and come for the morning program and take part in activities of the temple, or they can be at home and just be Krishna conscious at home only?
It will depend, not that everybody will be able to stay close to the temple, right? Many householders, they have their job, they have their family, so they have to be situated wherever they are. So the point is, wherever you are, cultivate your Krishna consciousness, become a devotee. And for example, in a situation like here, you can build facilities for householders. They'll be able to stay close to the temple, pursue their spiritual life, but at the same time they can go and do their job and run their business.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
In Ujjain also, Maharaj has built plenty of houses. I don't know how many houses there are.
There are 48 apartments.
There are 48 apartments for the grihasthas to stay next to the temple, so they can come and participate in the temple programs. So His Holiness Bhakshar Maharaj was also personally cooking for Srila Prabhupada in his last few years, and had a very intimate association with Srila Prabhupada. And His Holiness Bhakshar Maharaj is a very close friend of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, my spiritual master. So in Yatras we used to hear from him a lot about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu's mission. So one observation we all made was His Holiness Bhakshar Swami Maharaj is a very staunch follower of Srila Prabhupada. So one of his mission statements is never leave ISKCON and always follow GBC and always follow Srila Prabhupada. So he is traveling worldwide now as the chairman of the GBCEC and reaching out to the temples.
I was the chairman last year.
Last year.
Now this year I retired.
So we request Maharaj to come more often to Pune like this. For the last many years we couldn't have you, Maharaj. We had you. So at least to make it once in a year, if you can make it more times also.
Thank you.
Let us thank Maharaj. Hari Srila Maharaj ki.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.